Most of us are taught to think that our past is a done deal, that it's fixed, it's unchangeable, and it's this heavy weight we just have to lug around forever. But what if that entire belief is just plain wrong?
I mean, think about it. We all have those moments, right? The embarrassing comment, the missed opportunity, that painful memory that just pops up out of nowhere. It can feel like we're trapped by them. But what if you could actually reach back in time and change their power over you?
Well, this is the radical idea from the 20th century mystic, Neville Goddard. He taught a technique that he believed was the most powerful one he ever shared, a method that could, he claimed, literally alter what has already happened. He called it revision.
So what exactly is this technique? Well, Neville gave it a pretty great name. He called it the pruning shears of revision, and that name is a huge clue. It's all about actively and consciously tending to the garden of your mind. So let's be super clear on what revision is. It's not about erasing the past or pretending something bad didn't happen. Not at all. It's about acknowledging an event and then going into your imagination and rewriting it as you wish that it happened. And here's the absolute kicker. Doing that changes its creative power. It changes its ability to shape your tomorrow.
And this really shows the key difference. This isn't about lying to yourself. That's just denial. Revision is completely different. It says, yes, that happened, but I am now going to change the cause in my imagination so that a different effect has to follow tomorrow. You see, it's a creative act, not just pretending.
Neville used this fantastic metaphor. Your imagination, it's a garden. And every unrevised negative memory, every argument, every failure, every regret is a weed just growing wild in there. And you are the gardener. It's your job to take these pruning shears of revision and tend to this garden every single day. Let's look at a real-world example. A teacher in New York City had this student who was disruptive, rude, and on the verge of being expelled. The entire faculty had already agreed on it. But instead of just accepting that, the teacher went home and, in her mind's eye, had a conversation with a revised version of this student, one who was kind, considerate, and loving. And the result was absolutely astonishing. The very next day, the student began to act out all the kindness the teacher had imagined. Just 10 days later, the faculty met again and completely reversed their decision. The girl was not expelled. You see, the teacher didn't deny the bad behavior, she recreated the cause of it within her own consciousness. So, this all sounds incredible, but how do you actually do it? Let's get into the practical application, the nuts and bolts of how you turn this into a nightly discipline. Okay, consider this story of a woman identified as LH. For 39 years, 39, she lived with constant, horrible pain from a serious fall she'd had as a toddler. She'd spent a fortune on treatments, but nothing ever worked. The seed of that old accident was still growing weeds in her present day. So she used this exact 5-step process. Every night before sleep, first, you review your day. Don't judge it, just watch it. Second, acknowledge what happened. Then third, and this is the magic part, you rewrite the scenes you didn't like. Had an argument? Rewrite it. Got bad news? Revise the letter. And step 4 is the key. You have to feel the reality of that revised scene. Then you just fall asleep, marinating in that new state. So, LH went back in her imagination to the day of the fall. She felt the swing, the rush of the wind, but as she jumped, she revised the ending. She felt herself landing perfectly on her feet. She even imagined running to her mother to show her. She just repeated this imaginal act over and over and over again until it felt more real than the original memory. And then she fell asleep.
She did this every single night. And get this, within 2 months, the pain that had tormented her for 39 years was completely gone. The physical condition was healed because the imaginal cause had finally been changed.
I mean, that's just mind-blowing, right? Which brings us to the deeper mechanics. How can changing a memory in your mind possibly alter the physical world? Let's break down the principle behind it. Okay, so the crucial point is this. Revision works because you are changing the cause, not the effect. The cause of your entire life is always your state of consciousness. The outside world is simply an effect, just a reflection of what is happening inside of you. So if you change the inner state, the outer world has absolutely no choice but to follow. Look at this timeline. A man named FB got a letter from his agent on a Tuesday saying his property wouldn't sell for months. So that night, he revised the letter in his mind. He imagined it was positive. He even imagined shaking the agent's hand and saying thank you.
Just 3 days later, on Friday, the agent calls with a buyer. On Saturday, the deal was done, word for word, exactly as he had imagined.
This leads to a really fascinating concept Neville called the bridge of incidents. See, once you revise a scene, your job is done. You don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. You just have to trust that consciousness will arrange a series of events, often in strange and unpredictable ways, to bring your revised reality to life.
And that bridge can unfold in some truly unexpected ways. A woman named R.S. had these terrible tenants, so she began revising her image of them, seeing them as responsible and caring. And she didn't try to fix them in the real world. Soon after, this bizarre series of events happened. The wife had a car accident, the husband just disappeared, and months later she returned with a new husband. And the result? The property was suddenly improved and the payments were perfect. R.S. could never have planned that path.
You know, practicing this every day brings about this profound psychological shift. You stop blaming other people because you realize they're only playing the part that you have assigned them in your own consciousness. Everyone is you pushed out. This isn't about letting people off the hook, it's about taking total responsibility for your reality.
And this really leads to the ultimate purpose of revision. This isn't just a technique for emergencies, it's a way of life. It's about consciously becoming the gardener of your reality.
This is maybe the most important takeaway of all. To see real, lasting change in your life, revision has to be a daily discipline. If you only prune your garden once a month, the weeds are always going to take over. You have to tend to it every single night.
Neville put it this way, and it's a powerful warning. He said, "Do not let the sun descend upon any vexations of the day." Why? Because your unrevised day is literally creating your tomorrow. Every disappointment, every frustration you go to sleep with is a seed you are planting for your future.
So when you take on this practice, you are fulfilling your sacred purpose. You are moving from being a victim of your past to being the conscious creator of your future, shaping not only your world, but the world of everyone in it.
So as we wrap this up, the only question that really matters is the one right here. Knowing that the past you carry into sleep tonight is actively creating your tomorrow, what will you choose to revise?